You don't got nothing to do at 8 p.m. on a Friday, man.
You
gotta come to my show. I'm like, listen, you can leave your dog for 10 days.
Yeah.
Throw the body out, and nobody's gonna come looking.
Wow, holy shit, Peggy looks trans. Okay. And Drew comes up and goes, we're gonna start the show in about 5 minutes. Get ready, you're gonna hear the N-word a lot.
What's Slack? That's
You don't know what Slack is?
Nah, I don't. I collect 6 W-2s a year. I don't even get to the email. You gotta get it to 99. You gonna focus it on the brother? Should I come up closer?
You are the black Richard Simmons.
You hear what's happening with kids in school? Did you hear about it? Mm-hmm. Me neither, because I don't got no motherfucking kids, especially when they talk about online dating. I'm like, bro, you suck and you're ugly. Just get over it.
I will be way more turned off if a guy took his socks off and his feet were like super manicured.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
I like a man. I want chiseled. I want dry spots on the ankles.
Size though, because this would definitely give me a yeast infection.
I hate going to the gym and I can't stand being set up.
It feels like I just had a one-night stand and I'm like, where's his bed sheet? Oh,
so this is how do you get a woman at a bar? Like how
at
do you,
a bar?
not to be 1980s and be like, what line do you use? You come here often?
I would do that as a kid. 21, 22.
Okay, we're past this now? Is that what you're
23,
saying?
for sure. I'm too old. It's when you're exuberant, you have youth. People, you say the line, but people don't come to you for the line. They come to you because you seem happy, but you lose that happiness. And now if you do the line thing,
yeah. Feels forced.
They can feel it. Yeah.
That's probably why older men still use lines, not only because they grew up in like an older generation, but they don't really have the vitality to be in the game like how they were. So they're hoping that they can be like, you're from Tennessee, you're the only 10 I see. And then she's like,
that's a perfect one.
She's like, why would I go to Tennessee? They have like really restrictive abortion laws there.
He's like, I got her. This is it. It's a numbers game.
Boom, boom.
This is 640.
Yeah.
She's mine now. She's my type of chick.
I love a woman who loves a good wit. I love it. Yeah, it's like, so I want to ask you a question about this. So we were talking about this off camera. Mm-hmm. Drew is the most fashionable man I know.
You gonna make me mother.
Short shorts and corset and all. Are you wearing the corset today?
Listen, it's not a corset. It's a very tight wife beater. That's what it is.
Drew wears a faja.
It's a little bit of a faja. Get my ribs nice. Listen.
And he revealed that, and I learned that about him on stage.
And you took it to the moon.
Raton, Florida. Where else do you want me to take
nobody here. I'm like, they're all old. They know what I'm talking about. They know the feeling. I wouldn't do that. Listen, if I'm attracted, if anybody in the crowd is attractive, I do not do that. But we in West Boca.
So I can do this.
I'm like, they don't. I'm going to show you what it is. And a couple of them, I gave them links. I gave them links.
You're like, here's my Amazon wish list. I need a couple other colors of this. You won over the women in that crowd so quickly when you did that.
Oh, yeah.
That was a really big pop. The only other biggest pop, the next biggest pop you got in your set is when you went up to give them a 5-minute show warning. And again, this is in West Boca Raton, Florida, where the median age is 62. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Like you could count on one hand how many millennials.
Oh, yeah.
You could count on one hand how many people A, knew what the internet was, B, use it daily, and C, don't get to it through dial-up. You can count on one hand. And Drew comes up and goes, we're going to start the show in about 5 minutes. Get ready, you're going to hear the N-word a lot.
You know what? They looked happy.
They were like, thank God.
Yeah. They're like, listen, I just want you to be who I expect you to be. Say the N-word and don't you dare talk about anything before the 1950s, please.
That's it. And then they were like, you mean now they're like over under, am I going to hear it more or less than how much I say it in my own home? That's what I'm curious about. That was such a weird weekend of show. I'm okay if I never perform in Boca Raton ever again.
I can see it. I get it.
I'm good on it. Yeah.
It's an age difference, and also a complete wealth gap. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You can't, it's hard to relate
Yeah.
You know, they talk about life on a different level. Like
Yeah.
they use summer as a verb rather than a noun.
But also, like, we do Soho House and all of these other gigs where there is definitely, obviously, like a wealth gap there too. And sometimes you'll run into old people there as well. But there's something about Boca where I think these people have been dead for a few years.
I'm with you on that.
I
you
honestly,
talking Walking Dead energy.
At Walking Dead energy, we did, what did we do? 2 shows or 3 shows?
It was 2 shows.
2 shows, Friday,
Yeah.
Saturday. Friday, fun. Everybody,
That was great.
I think because it was younger people in the crowd, smaller crowd, but better crowd. It was great. And then the Saturday night show, I was just talking to somebody about it today where I was like, I just kind of bombed. Like, I mean, it was like, it's not a bomb, I don't think, in a general.
It was a bomb in your head.
A bomb in my head.
Yeah.
But it was one of those crowds where I was like, what joke did it, and am I ever gonna get them back? Like they were in a in a malaise.
Yeah.
And I was at like 20 minutes, and I was like, what? I can't do crowd work.
I could feel it because you got a bunch of pops in the beginning, and you were like, "That's the standard now."
Yeah.
And it just never came
And
back.
it never.
Yeah, you're like, "Yo, what happened to the standard?" It started out so easy.
It started off so easy, and then I do realize that with comedy, that sometimes when we start hot, and I feel like you and I both do this because we got a lot of good energy and showmanship and the crowd work, but it is kind of like a marathon. And especially once you're doing longer sets, like if you come out the gate with comedy and you're just kind of like pop, 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 you're like, oh, I'm gonna hit minute 20, and they're gonna be like. And especially in Boca, you heard the dentures fall out. They were like, I was like, oh, I think
sound like an old buggy.
I think I tired them out a little bit. Like everybody.
Yeah.
Like you did
No,
great.
they were super tired after a while. I could see it. I'm like, I saw a couple people.
Yeah.
It's the age, and they're just not used to this. So for them, the energy they use in that moment is usually a week worth of energy. We took off people's lifespans that night.
Thank God. I hope some of them die. Okay.
She does not like not doing well.
Where's
the hard camera? Let me.
I don't like bombing. I do not.
Oh, no. This is the hard camera?
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, I don't like, it's so hard. We should like talk about like putting that like, not to talk too much about comedy because I feel like at this point my listeners are probably like, not all of us do stand up, bitch. I work in accounting. Like, you know.
This has nothing to do with my life. I can't relate to you.
I can't relate to you. I'm like, what's your version of bombing in accounting? Like
losing your job.
An audit? I don't know. Yeah.
An audit.
An audit? Like, yeah, losing your job, losing the house.
Send me the Slack message that nobody sends emojis to afterwards.
Oh my God.
That nigga, what's Slack? That's
You don't know what Slack is?
Nah, I don't. I collect 6 W-2s a year. I don't even get to the email. I don't get to the email part of the job.
6 W-2s. I don't know how it happens, but it adds up to the dollar.
I'm good. You see what I'm talking about? You see, this girl gets me. That's an Italian blood.
That's amazing as a creative when you go to apply for an apartment and they're like, can you show us pay stubs? And you're like, and you just open up your bag and you're like, here's a bunch of drink tickets. You're just like, if you cash these in at the front.
I ain't never, ever not had a roommate. Somebody else had his names on the lease. I can't.
Cosign.
Yeah, I can't even.
They go, how do you, when I was applying, where was I applying? When I was applying for apartments in Miami, I sent 13 documents. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, not in when I was. I'm moving back to New York. Like, and hopefully by the time this comes out, I will already be in New York. Probably piss broke. So New York.
I hope not, but I hope, for your career, yes,
Thank you.
We're going to miss you out here.
I know.
And you put a lot of money in my pocket. You be booking me.
I'm responsible for at least like 4 of those W-2s.
For sure.
Where's my commission? Yeah.
I got some paperwork for you to sign after this, by the way. We just got to talk.
Your accountant's going to call me and be like, we need you to audit this. We need you to endorse it. I don't know. I think New York, but I'm not going to fully let go to South Florida, but it's time, I think, a little bit. But
if you want, once you kind of outgrow a space, it's always your base.
Yeah.
You got your people here.
Yeah.
You can, something goes wrong. You're like, I need a week in Florida just to
chill out.
Yeah, just chill out.
Well,
just do comedy with,
Not to go back to dating, but I think it's why like you have so much energy and good energy when you've got your eggs in a couple different baskets and it's not only in one.
Yeah.
Like I moved differently in New York and I moved differently moving down to South Florida, knowing I got a hoe in my back pocket, said hoe being the other city.
Well,
so
I get you.
When New York starts fucking when I'm broke and I'm pissed and it's tough and it's frustrating, I could be like,
the grit.
I got a beautiful tan bitch down in Florida. Bye.
I'm gonna go check that out.
I'm gonna go
Second
check
family.
that out. I'm gonna go relax for a week and get paid and do
Yeah.
whatever.
It's-
And then when someone steals a child's ashes down here or something, or some bullshit goes down, I could be like,
Yeah, when you get tired of never seeing anybody use a blinker, you go, you know what?
yeah,
Let's take it back up to the city.
let's go somewhere where people make sense.
Yeah.
Let's
I want to go somewhere where rights are illegal. You can't just drive any willy way. You gotta.
I'm gonna go to a city where your word matters.
Yeah.
Where integrity still counts. Yeah. Because in Florida, not so much. But
They're
I
very
love
loosey goosey.
everything is loosey goosey
Yeah.
down in Florida. Nothing matters.
A lot of the thing is, listen, let's give them some credit. The word matters here, right? But most people give it when they're on cocaine. So does it matter when you're on cocaine?
No, nothing matters.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You assume that you're getting somebody's word, but you don't even know he's on cocaine. He has a cocaine addiction.
Oh, yeah. You don't get anybody's word in Miami, and it's only half because half of them don't speak English. So you don't know what the fuck words you're getting at all. But it's like, it's almost as if you can count on it not counting. And
Yeah.
then once you get a little north into Broward and Palm Beach, people start to kind of firm up their integrity and their
There's
word
a little bit more.
a little bit more. And then they get too firm in Boca, and then that's how we end up where we are.
You go north, and now the firmness is zealotry. It's
Too firm.
Yeah, it's.
You're from New York originally, though.
Yeah. I moved when I was 17.
Okay, where in New York?
I lived in Hollis.
And where?
Hollis.
Where's that?
Hollis? It's like
Hollis?
Hollis. Yeah, that's like where Run DMC's from Hollis.
Is that
Cool J's
uptown?
No. This is
Long
Queens.
Island? Queens.
This is Queens. Yeah,
Hollis, Queens?
Hollis, Queens.
I
It's
thought I knew every
very
part of
close
Queens.
to Jamaica Ave.
Okay, now I know where
Very
you're talking
close
about.
to Jamaica
Okay.
Ave. It's like almost like a suburby area. Went
Okay.
to Catholic school.
Okay.
Okay, came down
You
here.
in Catholic school?
Oh, it was the best.
Were you behaved?
I was behaved, but in Catholic school, I feel like you're almost.
You fucked a nun. I knew it.
I wish. I was a
That
tubby little
pussy be
shit.
so tight.
That's that
Haven't had it
worship.
all life.
That's that worship pussy. You know what I'm saying? That pussy.
It's that I'm holding out for God, pussy.
Pussy look like it came off a pew. It's beautiful. Chef's kiss pussy.
Is that where you learned to wear a faja in Catholic school?
No. I learned to wear that recently when I started gaining enough weight where I was like, it's time to tighten this up, and I can't do it through weights, and I can't do it through hard work. I don't have that persistence.
I don't have it anymore
You
either.
know?
I actually look back now at photos of me in my 20s, and I'm like, damn.
You was
That
working hard,
collarbone
man.
was
'Cause
clear.
You know what it is?
Those arms were.
You used to be able to see your collarbone.
The collarbone was
that's sexy.
what's this called? What's this bone called?
It's a cock.
Nah, there's another word for it. Clavicle.
Clavicle.
The
Clavicle. That's it.
The clavicle. The arms were lean. Nothing jiggled.
You could do this. And
You
I'd
could
be
do
happy with
this,
it.
and it wouldn't burn calories. It wouldn't. When I do this now, it like registers on the Richter scale.
Yeah, for
like,
real. Come on, there's enough fans in the room, baby.
yeah, right? Right. And it's like, I look now at my 20s and I'm like, damn, I was fat. But isn't it funny? You look back at photos of you in your 20s that you hated then. And now at 33, I'm like, damn. God damn it.
You look good.
And I hated that photo in my 20s.
Yeah,
but
you
now
thought-
at 33, I want that cut on my little ass back.
Oh, man, you talking about the Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, the little,
Man,
ooh, I
well,
want,
you like, yo, this is where my genitals go.
yeah.
There's directions, stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Those are
gorgeous.
two signs pointing to your crotch. Suck it right here. That's it. I know. Or I was like, I don't know. My thighs didn't touch genuinely in my 20s.
And you know when you took that off, everybody takes that for granted, man.
I really did.
You take it for granted. Just, man, I used to go out every night and just go out there and dance. And people knew not to touch me because they're like, oh, Drew's always sweaty. He's always dancing and having a good time. I tried to dance the other day. My ankles started to click. You understand? Knees started to hurt. I had TFL pain. You know what a TFL? I got right here. TFL is like next to, like right by your medial glute. You know, it helps
Say
you go
what
like.
in hell?
Yeah, this is all.
Drew is dressed like a doctor who would come to your house and be like, baby, I gotta rub those medial glutes.
I got you on the medial glutes. I'm a doctor for the homeless.
And her husband's like, I don't know about this Del Rey guy. I don't know. We got to see his PhD. What
He also has a pendant on with his last name on it. Don't make no sense.
comes with cocaine? Well, your medial glute, where is that?
That's like right here. It's like one of the weakest muscles in your body
Oh, okay.
right there.
I feel like I get a lot of pain and tension there.
That's
all the time.
Yeah, you got to work on your TFL. I could do some stretches right here. You want me to do some stretches?
Go ahead.
The camera work?
Yeah.
Show you what to do,
Does
right?
the camera?
Get a 90-90. Don't worry about the lack of big strength. Hold up. You gotta get it to 90-90. Or you gonna focus it on the brother? Should I come up closer? Should I come up closer? Should I come up closer?
You are the black Richard Simmons.
Right? You see that right there? This is what you're gonna do. This is what you're gonna do. This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna try to lift this foot up. Okay? Lift that. Can they see that foot that you're lifting? Right? Let me turn it toward them. Turn it toward them. You're gonna lift this foot up.
You look like you're breakdancing in the Olympics.
Right there. Right there. You're gonna get all that. All that. Oh, you talking about what's that thing you did the Chris Brown on?
You're an Olympian?
That was crazy. I gotta get the other side. Let me tell you something. It won't cramp. It won't cramp.
I'm crying.
It's a good one right there. Right? You got the butterfly one.
I didn't know I needed to place bets on the guests that would be quickest to get on the rug during an episode.
This is also nice. I ain't gonna lie.
I wish I did, because it's obviously Drew Illa.
That's nice. What is this? What's this rug?
Target, bitch.
Home goods?
Yeah.
This entire, all the props on this set are inherited. Okay? The owner of the studio said, I have some inflatable couches that I used for my 15-year-old daughter's birthday party. And I said, chef's kiss. It's exactly what we need. That is my
That is what
show.
you need. That is what you need.
This
is comfortable.
Is it? I think so.
It's
Some
comfortable 'cause
guests take their shoes off. Some guests
Nice.
tits out, whatever, cry. Abby cried. Abby cries.
Abby cries all the time.
Yeah.
Abby cries.
She's so empathetic.
It's so much. I saw her once cry with a. So we go to this place. We're having a great time. I leave her to talk to the DJ's wife.
You guys are my favorite couple.
Oh, it's great.
And anybody listening, Abby Ballin, she's made
Let's not
appearances.
go too deep into it.
I'm just saying the bitch's name.
I know.
I'm letting her be known.
The comics who I don't want to know, I'm like, ugh, I don't.
I think most people know by now that you guys are.
Some people don't. The people who I barely see.
Do you know I a couple years ago mentioned it to Abby, and I had not told anybody else. Another comic, Riley Edwards. Was it Riley? Or was it Riley? It was somebody who went to Key West with you.
Key West.
And they were like, oh, or Franco. Maybe it was Franco?
No. Who went to Key West? Sean Mullins, Loveless.
Sean Mullins. Sean Mullins.
He was,
fucking Sean Mullins.
He's the first one who caught us.
Yeah, and he goes, oh yeah, and then Drew was there with his girl. And then he goes, oh yeah, you know her, Abby. And I went, no shit. And he goes, yeah, I don't know. They left somewhere. And
we swore him to secrecy a week before.
And he busted that shit wide open. I also think that same night he got so drunk on the show he vomited in the Miami Improv bathroom. But that's a conversation for another time. And then I remember I didn't say it to anybody because it's not my story to tell. I'm big on that. If shit's not my story to tell or my news to share,
just mind your business. You let it rock.
I don't want to be the person who passes it on.
And I also feel like it just should feel good knowing like I was trusted.
With
a secret.
Right. And I think I just alluded to it to Abby. And I had never seen Abby. Abby was like, how do you know that? And I was like, I haven't told anybody, but I thought, and she's like, we're really keeping it like super, like we don't want anybody to know. It's
And
new.
You know what it is? It also
this.
just doesn't fit the personas that we have on stage. A little bit of that.
Yeah.
Because we're both very fluid in our sets.
Yeah.
So we can, we might go to something where it's like I have a bunch of stuff now where I have a girlfriend, but even when I talk about her, it's like one of the jokes is she's seen Gremlin 1 in theaters.
Has Abby seen Gremlin 1?
Of course not. But
okay.
That's why I wanted to be like, I'm like, you are separate from my set.
Yeah.
And the thing is when comedians start treating you like you're a couple, people follow. People start to follow. Like, I don't know what it is.
People start to follow what? Like
meaning
the trajectory?
that thought process where it's like, well, that's your girlfriend. We know you. It's like,
oh, yeah.
They'll get on stage and they'll be like,
they start to make jokes
about it. And you're like, yo, bro,
yeah.
I got a whole bunch of jokes about dating and some stuff I want to try out,
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
Can't do that. I want to talk about dating, right? I see dating in the world all the time.
Right.
I want to say something.
Yeah.
I can't do that if the crowd's like, motherfucker, you been with this bitch for 3 years.
Yeah,
nigga.
yeah, that's true. That is true. And
It's way more open to be a single comic.
oh yeah, you have a plethora more of material. Yeah, it's the same way that it's a lot more open to be dirty than it is to be clean. But I also think that you get really good at making single material, and then I think after time, if you've been married long enough, it goes away, and you'll get good at making
kid material.
That's true.
My kids.
That's true. Well, it's nearly not as funny as my pussy. Oh.
See what I'm talking about?
Yes,
I don't got a
is.
kid. Nigga, that's gonna leave. You gonna have a kid for 6 months? You gonna be like,
all right, I'm over it.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. Well, I remember. Yeah. So Abby freaks out, and I was like, Abby, I haven't told anybody or anything. I allude, and then I also think I kind of picked up separately that you guys were getting closer. I'll leave it like that. Getting closer, and then she's like, who told you? And I was like, that fucking idiot, Sean Mullins. No, I'm kidding. And she goes, we fucking told him not to fucking. And I was like, I'm not going to say anything. And then I think at one point, but I didn't know you guys were still trying to actively keep it a little.
It's not, we just.
Don't force it.
We just don't force it.
Good.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Because listen, tell you something. If we in a room together, you ain't going to be able to tell.
You guys, you're two incredibly independent people.
Yeah.
I can't think of a more compatible pair because the two of you really you're just yourselves.
Yeah.
Very much so. Have your own strong identities. I think you both are of the same mindset of like, do you live and let live? Let's chill.
Bro.
Let's have fun.
It ain't gotta be all, And it's, what it is? It's important to have somebody who has their own stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I got my own thing going. I ain't got time to be worried about, what's happening with you. And like, I want to know you're emotionally good, but also I don't want you to, imagine you have a boyfriend and he's going to every show with you.
No.
How? You don't got nothing to do at 8 p.m. on a Friday, my nigga. You gotta come to my show.
It's not attractive to me.
Oh my God.
All. And you know what? Also, that trope of like he always has to be more into you than you're into him. You need a man who is obsessed with you. That whole trad wife, old school thing has been very unattractive to me. There is nothing sexier than me saying, hey, I do have a show on Friday. If you want to come, you can or whatever. And him going, I just agreed to go to like happy hour and a movie with some friends from college. I'm like, ooh.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're a woman, right?
Yeah. Some days.
Do you think depends how I'm feeling.
Depends. Last night I looked like a whole ass trailer park lesbian on stage at the Miami Improv. I even said I look like I eat pussy, right? And the crowd went, yeah.
They agreed? Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
Because they mean it then.
They mean it.
They don't have context of you. They don't mind saying
hat, messy hair, t-shirt,
man.
and I was bloated, so I undid my jeans, and I was like, I look like I got a lot of masculine energy, and I want to fuck your girl. And they went, yeah. And I was like, I get it. I've given up. And anyways, go on. Yeah.
You pulled up like a truck driver.
I really did.
Unbuttoned pants.
Yeah, it was like a bitch is ovulating.
I'm telling you, man, you got to get up on these spanks, girl.
I might.
You would have to unbutton nothing.
That's one of the best.
You could unbutton and it would still stay there. Whatever's there, locked in.
It defies gravity. Okay, but yes, I am a woman most nights.
Okay. What I was gonna ask. Okay. I Married with Children.
The show.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that is almost what a good couple should look like.
Okay, go on.
You know what I mean?
I mostly do. I haven't watched it in a while, but go on.
It's a apathetic husband who's just like, and a wife who doesn't care that he's apathetic. She has nothing to do with his existence.
So she's equally as apathetic.
She's like, the thing is, she's genuinely happy. She doesn't work. She hangs. Her kids are grown. She's chilling.
Yeah.
She's max. There's never been an episode where Peggy goes, I need to do something for myself in terms of like, I need to get more money or do this or do that. She's just there.
Complacent.
I wouldn't even call it complacent. I would almost call it like
set.
She's one. She's one.
Oh, zen?
Zen. There's a zenness there.
No, let me look up the cast. Keep going.
Yeah, you gotta. You don't know Married with Children?
No, I do, but I really just haven't watched it in like years. Married with Children.
It's a I would say it's lewd for today's standards. And Al is like a guy who lives in the past.
Oh yeah! Wow! Holy shit! Peggy looks trans. Okay.
She was strong. I like it. Yeah, she was strong. I like a good strong girl.
That hair is like the wig of a drag queen. and then he looks like he'd run for office.
He actually scored 4 touchdowns in a high school game.
Did he really?
Yeah, he tells it all the time. He's like living in the past, you know.
In real life or no? In the show.
And in the show. In real life,
Peggy looks manly.
you think Peggy looks manly? I thought Peggy was hot as hell.
Maybe I've gone to too many drag shows.
No.
but
Go look at her in video. Go look at her in
Peggy's
video.
got a strong jawline. She's tall, big ass head. She's a big woman.
She's a big woman.
And he
Should've
looks
seen her in
like
Sons of
J.D.
Anarchy.
Vance's stepbrother, and he wants to fuck that couch. I don't know. This is interesting. I fucked the
Married
son,
with
though,
children,
but,
man.
Okay. So I see what you're saying.
It's a very miserable existence they live because it's about like
because they're married
poor,
with children.
Yeah, but they're also poor.
Yeah,
which makes it so there's like a miserable existence, but there's also just like a happiness.
Happiness in the simplicity.
In the simplicity and the
misery's only bad if one person is miserable.
Exactly.
If everybody's miserable, misery loves company.
It's perfect.
It's perfect.
You're in the company of misery, and their kids are smart aleck assholes, and and that comes with the misery. You know?
Of course, yeah. Like it would be bad if like the husband was outstandingly happy and Peggy didn't like what her situation is. But the reason it works is she's not longing really for anything more. She's taken care of in the way she wants to be taken care of, and he doesn't give a shit, so they leave each other alone.
It's perfect.
Yeah, I guess you got to be on the same wavelength when it comes to that. Yeah. What are your thoughts on marriage? Would you get married?
I wouldn't mind. I just listen. Nobody gonna marry me. You marry me, you saddling yourself with so much debt. So
what about all those W-2s?
All those W-2s. I'm not paying taxes on them. So. Actually, 1099s.
You get married to me, the government's gonna be knocking on the door.
Oh yeah, you fucked. So, I mean, look, I could care less. I don't see it as a big deal. Yeah. But I also have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
If you see what I'm saying.
In what sense? What do you mean?
If we divorce,
yeah,
I'm the one who needs to sign a prenup. You know what I'm saying? You gotta give me the prenup and say you need to sign that because if we get a divorce, I can't. I can't be paying you alimony, nigga. You go, yeah, and you not know you. You're like,
I need the prenup, Nadi. I need the prenup to make sure I get some of your shit.
Yeah, bro.
On the way,
I need to get a fee for 10 years.
I think to that point, I think people that get offended about prenups don't have enough of their own shit going, and you're in the marriage for the wrong reason.
Exactly.
I know people that are like, he pulled a prenup, and I think it's so weird. I was like, no, it's not. Mm-mm. It is quite literally the protection of your identity, assets, and career. You know what I mean? So I'm like, if you get offended by the prenup, it makes me look at that person like, are you in this marriage for the security?
Because one's fulfilled.
And one is not 100%. So I'm all about I work way too damn hard. And by the time, if I ever do get married, I'm protect thy shit. Big time. Big time.
Listen, finances are something.
And I hope to be with a man who's so successful that he's like, why are you even questioning it? Of course we're getting prenups. Like, he's already like, I'm protecting my shit too, bitch.
This girl got her stuff.
Yeah, and I have mine.
This is two powerhouses collabing right here. This ain't no light, you know?
Yeah.
This ain't no light work.
Yeah, partnership.
I think it's important to be with somebody who's kind of like sort of wants what you want and has their own thing. Because otherwise, like you said, it's just one person who's not fulfilled, clinging on to your fulfillment. Yeah. You know? But I would say I have less of an opinion on marriage, more of an opinion on like having kids.
So yay or nay?
Oh no.
At all?
Nah, man. I'm trying to keep wearing short shorts till I'm 50. I don't want to.
That's true. You can't be a dad wearing short shorts hanging out at the park. An Amber Alert's gonna go off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you next to people's kids.
Your brand is gonna have to change if you have kids.
I'm gonna have to wear New Balances and shit because I'm fucking take care of the kids. I don't want to do none of that.
You're gonna have to sit on couches with your drag queen wife if you have kids.
My Peggy. I can't.
Yeah. No kids.
When you have a kid, you got to plug into the world. That's why for me, it's not even about the response. It's just I don't want to plug into the world. I don't have to. You hear what's happening with kids in school? Did you hear about it? Mm-hmm. Me neither, because I don't got no motherfucking kids. I don't care about no school.
It's pretty peaceful.
Yeah.
I always said that I wanted kids in marriage, and then I was like, I don't really care as much about marriage, but I definitely want kids. I still lean towards that. I'd rather be, by the way, I'd be fine as a single mom. Unless you're going to be the dopest, chillest co-parent, I'd be really fine as a single mom. Send the payments every month. You don't want to be in his life. He's got me. She's got me. That's all I need.
Where there's love here.
Where there's love. And I also know enough parents that have a gray area with their co-parent. It's not perfectly harmonious. I mean, I guess nothing is. But I also know that if they're not together, or there is some sort of back and forth or gray area with custody, I know a lot of single moms in particular, I'm sure there's dads as well too, that are like, I'd rather do this by myself. Like, I'd rather just, because this is too much having he doesn't really want to be in her life, but he's pretending he does. So it's one foot, other foot.
Word.
It's whatever. And I
There's
think
no trust.
I'd be fine as a single mom. I really would.
I can feel that.
Now that I'm like traveling a lot and kind of flourishing, and I'm a little nomadic right now, and my money's finally right, and certain things are finally like whatever, I do see children in public, and I'm like, I love abortion. Like, I really, the power of choice is an amazing one.
It's an amazing one.
Like, and now I don't know
there.
if I do, because I do hear children now, and I'm like, God, put a sock in it. Like, you know, like on a plane or something. And I'm like, God, I don't know.
You got to be plugged in. You got to look at,
and
think about this,
patient.
everything. You go on a plane, right?
Yeah.
You're so much more aware of other people, because you're like, how are they going to react to my kid? Anybody going to touch my kid? Anybody going to do this? Man, I'm telling you, after a person has a kid, you can see who they are as a person through the kid. Don't even look at them anymore. Yeah. Because they're just a shell of what they was. They pouring everything into that little,
and that kid is going to pick up on a lot of subconscious shit that you don't need, because that kid's around you 24/7, and they're going to see you when your walls are down and you're exhausted and you're uninhibited.
They're part of your walls.
They're part of it. And also, they have inherited all of your traits, good, bad, and ugly. They're just not old enough to have the social veil to hide the bad and the ugly yet. So when they're like, that kid's kind of a shithead, it's like, he probably is too.
Right.
She probably is too.
There's something going on.
There's something going on. That is so
that's
true.
That's a chalkboard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
100%.
You the chalk, brother. What you?
Yeah.
Look at him. He smell like the artificial sugar in Capri Suns. Because you ain't never let him. You ain't never gave him a bedtime. He going to sleep at 11.
Yeah, he's out of control.
I see it all the time, and it makes me sad.
Yeah. I also think when I do have kids, I want to be like totally fulfilled. I don't want to long for anything else in my life. I mean, the same thing with marriage. I want to be like really ready. It's all out of my system, etc. But I definitely think it's more important with kids. You got to really like be like, I've partied, I've drugged, I've drank. My career is exactly where I want. I'm in. I currently don't want for anything else. You just got to
be bored.
You may just have to be bored.
That's why I think kids who are born...
That's really profound and true.
Yeah. If kids who are born with parents who are 50, they, it sucks because they don't have their...
the same longevity or the same relationship or whatever.
They almost seem a little bit more well-mannered. Just more, because the person's 50, man. Everything's done.
My parents had me at 38. And I think that's why they were so locked in as parents. And I think some would say too locked in and a little too overprotective or whatever. But you know what? Having the kids a little later than life means a lot of this shit is out of your system.
Exactly.
And I think you're right. They're bored.
Yeah.
They're bored.
Boredom, especially with each other.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can talk about.
Yeah. And now this injects a new life into the union.
Exactly.
And you've done the traveling, you've done the partying, you're really just okay with, like, a kid literally ties you to your home to an extent. So you're okay with that. I also I know something that's crazy is I know a lot of couples that like have the kid to test the strength of the relationship. And they're like, I guess let's just keep it and see what happens. I'm like, this is not a dinner reservation.
No, this is real life.
Real life.
This is legal. They're like, we got a dog. I'm like, listen, you can leave your dog for 10 days.
Yeah.
Throw the body out, and nobody's gonna come looking.
No,
a child.
It's fucked up, but it's an animal. Yeah, a child.
It has a social security number. It's a person.
Yeah,
it has the same rights as you.
Yeah.
This thing is like, you can't just be like, oh, willy-nilly.
Yeah.
You gotta focus.
It's also like, you don't make your car payments, they come back and they repossess it. Yeah. But if it's like, if you're using a kid to figure out if you should stay with your girl, nobody's gonna repossess it. You're just gonna, at 18, they're gonna be like, hey, they brought a knife to school. I don't know what happened. Like, that's what's gonna end up happening.
Straight
like
up.
It's like, it has those, and also like, I think that's so people are like, having kids is selfish, or some people think it's the selfless thing to do, the selfish thing to do. I'm like, but I think I know a lot of people that use kids, like we're talking about, to cover up the problems in the relationship, to romanticize because they need something new. And I'm like, that's straight up selfish.
Some of them just use it to find purpose.
To find purpose.
And it's like, yo, I'm all I am is my job, and my home. That's it. I have nothing else. A kid just replaces passion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also have some young friends, and like I'm proud of them. They're doing a good job, but also I see the way they hold their kids, and I'm like, I don't think a doctor would approve of that. Like you're too young.
Neck all loose.
Yeah, like
Going on
hold
with
his
the
head
child?
up. What are you doing? He's still. Are you gonna go get him? He's screaming still.
No, he's fine.
He's fine. I'm like, no, he's not.
I'm like, oh, you've just gone noise blind.
That's it. Yeah, they're like, oh, sometimes you just gotta let him cry it out. I'm like, well, it sounds like it's a concern, but Drew is to make a pivot. I want to get into some dating stuff and then maybe some current event stuff. You've walked me through many a dating dilemma.
Oh yeah, it's so fun.
Is it particularly fun with me? How would you read me as how I date? We haven't talked about dating in a minute.
In a while, yeah. I would say
you could be honest. Abby called me a rescue dog.
A rescue dog?
She was like,
why'd you call you a rescue dog?
She was like, when you first came down to South Florida with everybody dating or not, she's like, you had an energy like you were like, somebody's gonna hurt me. So you were peeing on everybody's carpets from Home Goods and shit. And I was like, did I really? She goes, yeah, you had a very tense, guarded, socially anxious energy around you. And she's like, and you're totally not like that anymore. She's like, you truly feel like you don't give a fuck and you're like, hurt me. I don't give a shit now.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's a good way to
true. It's a great way to be.
That's a good way to be.
Yeah, I don't
trust until they
truly don't give a fuck now.
Yeah.
And even if they break the trust, I go,
I
sucks
just
for
move
you.
on. Yeah. Move on
Sucks
with your life.
for you. That's it. Don't have time to care about it. But
If I were to judge
how I've dated from what you've gathered,
how
you can be
dated,
honest.
I think you move your pace is very like this.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're not a due diligence person.
I love this.
Yeah. You don't do the like, I tell girls especially, I'm like, just take it super slow. The game is if you can beat a man's patience, he'll show you who he is. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
You got to beat a man's patience.
Girls, I hope you're taking notes.
It's just a little. Listen, I've got
Girls
my
and
patience
gays.
beast. I was with a girl for like 5 years.
Yeah.
And she ain't give it up for like the first month, right?
Yeah.
Mind you, I'm 23.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So a month without pussy with someone you're talking to is like an eternity.
Yeah, and also she wasn't just not giving up pussy. She was teasing.
Oh, yeah.
She
So
was
you were doing
teasing.
other stuff.
She was playing around. Yeah, she was playing around. You know what I mean? She was teasing. And then I just remember being like just one day just being like, I don't know what I can't keep doing this. I'm like, you can't. I'm like, we would kiss. I'm like, listen, we can't. And then she did about 3 more days.
Yeah.
And then she finally gave it up. Because she was like, all right. Like,
and then you stopped talking to her.
left. And it was over.
You're like, bitch made me wait over a goddamn month
But
for
even
that?
Even that, like, you see that energy of like,
Yeah.
A lot of guys will leave. They'll go. They'll be like, fuck this. I'm over it.
Really?
And then that's when you see. Now, but I also think you should have an energy of like, hey, man, I'm just going to have sex with you, but I don't really want nothing more than that.
That's actually kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I think that's okay to do too, you know?
And it's like, my roster in the last 2 years has mostly been outside of maybe 3 or 4 new people.
Mm-hmm.
It's been doubling back on people that I've had a history with. Not necessarily ex-boyfriends, but a history.
Yeah, you don't want I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like in the terms of an Apple Watch. I feel like I'm going back and I'm closing the loop, if you will. You know, I'm just tying the knot. And honestly, though, seriously, it's giving me some like sexual, energetic, and emotional closure.
Yeah.
Because it is kind of nice to go back to these people that you were attracted to, had a thing with.
You gave so much fucks about.
Gave so many fucks, all the fucks, too many fucks about. And you went through your period of drama, don't like each other, we're not cool right now, whatever. Distance, maturity. It is kind of nice to revisit it and revisit these guys.
Because you realize you've outgrown them.
I've outgrown them and I
good.
don't care. And I now feel how they feel when they fucked me the first time. I'm like, is this what it's like to fuck someone you don't want to talk to tomorrow? Is this what it's like to fuck and not care? It's actually kind of liberating.
It's good for the soul.
It's good for the soul, and it almost feels like makeup sex with each of them.
Yeah.
And it's almost like every time I've hooked up with each of them, it feels like I let go of a transgression.
Yeah.
Almost. Like I'm like, it's kind of nice to just...
It's almost because you're like, I feel like you're watching yourself grow, like, and it's happening so quickly because you come back in and it's like, you realize all these feelings don't really mean anything. They're all dulled. You don't care that much. And in that moment, it's like, eureka. I don't
Yeah.
Fuck this motherfucker. I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm better than this now.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
better than that moment.
I'm
And you get to see
compartmentalizing it.
Yeah.
Like, which is what men are really good at doing. Men are really good at compartmentalizing the parts of a woman that they want or need in that moment. I mean, we talked about it off camera about like how guys are so able, sometimes guys don't even realize they're going through the motions of treating you like a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes they subconsciously don't realize
That's just
it.
how some of them grow up
Yeah.
learning to treat women.
Yeah.
So they don't, for them, it's like there's no label behind their actions.
No.
Yeah.
Or they're just like, I think sometimes like when they're using you like a girlfriend and they're getting all the benefits of a girlfriend, sometimes I'm like, I think he's like so unaware with how much he really needs right now. Like, I really think that. Like,
I can see that.
And that's where I think y'all are a little stupid because afterwards you're like, we're traveling together. I've met your parents. We've been doing this for 6 months. We fuck. We talk on the phone. I have a key to your apartment. I borrowed your boxers. You've used my toothbrush. I know
Jesus.
your friend. But so many girls end up in this situation and then he'll go, I'm not your boyfriend when he gets caught doing something bad. And you're like, well, then what are you doing? And I really think it's like subconscious because y'all crave that intimacy and that emotion and that closeness.
You gotta have that.
But you're not aware of how much you need it.
You gotta have that.
So you're not aware of how much you need it, but then when it's put in front of you on a silver platter, you're not going to say no.
No, you're gonna stuff your face.
You're going to
No
stuff
hands.
your fucking face. 100%. And then when the Costco's like, we're out of free samples, you're like, excuse me, I'm a member here.
Yeah, what do you mean?
You know what I mean? I'm a fucking member here. So I don't know. Like, are men like, what does it take to really, okay, truly, what does it take to make a man commit? And I'm selfishly asking as someone who's been single for 6 years.
What to make
a man commit?
due diligence.
Blondel just whistled.
Listen.
Due diligence, yeah.
You just said the guy eating all the girlfriend desserts but not wanting the commitment, right? Mm-hmm. That guy came in.
Yeah.
He was gonna cheat already. He knew he was gonna cheat on you.
He is who he is.
You have to look for it. You know, just look for it. Quick questions.
Yeah.
You ever cheat on a girl? Yeah. I can't fuck with you. You know, I can't. Just little
You
things.
You tell him I'm out. That's it.
I'm good.
You tell him why, or you just say it's not for...
if it's me, I don't really ask that. I can as a guy because I'm
No, I'm saying should the girl, like, if like she doesn't like the answer to one of these questions, should she...
She should just pull her heart out a little bit. Pull your heart out.
Well, okay, I don't like this already.
You don't like it? What do you mean? You got to pull your heart out. You got to cut them completely off.
How does anybody do that? How does anybody... And you've given me this advice, and I'm not saying you're wrong. You are correct. With some men in my past, I have not done due diligence. For those listening, that's code for Brittany fucked too soon. And Drew told me this.
You're going way too fast.
Drew was like, you giving it up.
You giving it up.
He was like my father in the DMs. He was like, make a man sweat.
If you like
What
him.
are you doing? What are you doing? He's like, you're not setting yourself up. You like him.
Straight up.
Okay.
You're like, I really want to be with this person. Let me fuck him after 24 hours. That's crazy.
Come on, Drew. 38. Come on.
38.
Okay. Because 38, let's be honest. And by the way, even times when I was like, I waited 2 months, Drew was like, how much do you really like him? Like, how much do you... But then again, Drew almost broke up with a girl after 33 days of hand jobs. But anyways, so who's to say?
True story.
I call bullshit on that. I call bullshit on what you just said. Pulling your heart out of it. Because men and women, no matter what it is you identify, how do you yellow light feelings with somebody? How do you, like, it's so hard. Like, how does like slow it down?
Look, how you slow it down? Motherfucker text you, you know, when you be like, you go, I'll talk to him later. And you just, they stop being priority number one. You just like,
They're never priority number one. By the way, I'm never, I'm never giving myself carpal tunnel over a man.
Okay, well, whatever your standard
but you
is,
know what I mean? Yeah.
just back it off a little bit. Go first with actions, and your feelings will follow.
Can you fix a situation after you've slept with somebody and you think it might be too soon? Can you fix it and reroute the pacing in the course?
Oh man, that calls for a lot of manipulation. You're gonna have to act like you're not into it and never tell them why. Don't tell them the sex was bad. Don't tell them you just want to slow down. Just become the guy.
So become the guy.
Become the guy.
So when he's like, what's wrong? You go, nothing.
Nothing.
Just been busy.
You give him an excuse. Oh, I've just been busy. Long excuses. but no actions.
God, so with men and women, it really does come down to actions speak louder than words on both sides of it.
Just action. Because if you like somebody and then you're like, I don't really trust my feelings with it. And then you just start less communication. You know, you stop commenting on this story. Stop looking at this story. I always tell people, mute that motherfucker.
I mute.
Mute him.
I mute. I've been muted by quite a few men.
Man.
Not to brag, but
that is a brag,
it's
though.
honestly really
that's
flattering.
Your feelings. That's your feelings.
It's flattering. And that's why now, like, I mean, honestly, if we really want to get into manipulation and reverse psychology, if you really want to act like you don't care, don't mute them. Because if they're still going through and watching your stories, then it's like people watch stories when they're taking a shit on a train, whatever.
Wait up. If you mute them, they can still watch your story, though. You can't watch anything they put out because they're not on your feed. But they can still watch you because they don't know anything about. They can't tell that you've muted them.
Wait, I'm confusing myself. No, but I mean, I think you should still. I think it's good to mute because muting can be good because it will taper off how much you're seeing of them. Because the social media algorithm is out to ruin our dating lives. I really think the apps now, I swear to God, I have like fucked a guy and been dickmatized and dicked down so good. And then like, I swear to God, my phone the next day, I open it up and suddenly I'm in this motherfucker's close friends. I'm like, what's happening? Like the algorithm has boosted him to how he's all I see. And I'm like, I'm like, does he know? Like, what's
your face now?
Yeah, I think the iPhone.
He's your wallpaper.
My iPhone's like, we heard how hard you came last night.
We want you. You need more of this.
Yeah,
you need more of this.
Yeah, you need it. I'm like, no, mute. But I say that to say like, the true, like indifference is the true test that you don't. Indifference is the true test that you don't have a hold on that person anymore.
Yeah.
And indifference is not muting somebody or not watching the
That's
story.
very true.
Indifference is you watch a story. Why? Because you were taking a shit or you were on the train and his story came after Drew's and Blondel's and Sean's and that's it. Like the true test
That's true indifference. That's real.
To me, like I know all the men that I've had a history with, intensely, badly, well, hot, good, whatever. And a lot, I'm either still muted, like they never watched again, or they've only watched after a thirst trap goes up, suddenly he watches everything. That's big crazy. Career announcement goes up, suddenly he watches everything. My birthday, didn't say happy birthday, watched all the birthday ones and stuff. And or men that I've had like a tumultuous history with, they pop in and out. Sometimes they watch and then they're gone. And then they're back. Yeah. And then they're gone.
That's a back and forth. He's in his head about you.
He's in his head about you. It's calculated.
Yeah, he on you.
When it's not calculated, they don't care. If that's when it's true indifference, when it's not calculated.
Word.
You know what I mean? Like that is calculated. If you're seeing them pop in and out of the, sometimes they're all over it, sometimes they're not. That's intentional.
Yeah.
They're paying attention to it.
They're watching. It's even better if you're at the level of indifference where you don't even know if they're watching because you don't ever even check to see them. You know what I mean?
That's the best.
That's the best. You're like,
I didn't even see
this guy.
Yeah.
And when if you do catch him, you're like, oh, that's creepy. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. What are you doing? Get out of there. I did that to a guy one time and then I refollowed him back on Instagram.
Oh, that's great.
And he was like, I didn't realize you unfollowed me. And I was like, well, I just didn't want to see. And I was ready to kind of move on. And he's like, okay. And I was like, it's really interesting to me that like, I know you've muted me. And he played stupid like he didn't. And I said, no, I know you did because you used to watch all of my stories when we were dating. And now you don't. Slipping. And now you don't, but you do on select occasions, but you won't say anything. And it's like such a mind game.
I feel like social media has made the game so much more
complicated.
So much more complicated.
Yeah.
And men are especially suffering because they don't. Dating online is a woman's arena. You know, so guys,
I think it's a man's arena.
You think it's a man arena? Let me tell you. Do you know
options,
how guys,
options?
Let me tell you how men.
They never know how to use that finger, but they do suddenly on Hinge.
All they do is this. Most guys just do this.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
I had a guy swipe right and I had no profile picture on my Bumble profile or Tinder. And I said, you want to fuck a headless horsewoman? Like, what's going You don't even know what I look
what
like.
What if I don't got a torso? What if I'm shaped like a star?
Right. What if I gained 20 pounds in the last year, which, by the way, I have? You don't know. So I think it's
Why
a man's
do you think
game.
I think it's a woman's game. Why?
Okay, go on.
Because women get choices online. Women will go slowly through a guy. Let's keep it real. I feel like most women swipe and get a match. I feel like when they don't, they're like, what the fuck? Am I wrong or right?
Yeah.
I feel like all guys.
Because women don't get sexually rejected very often.
Exactly.
So when they do,
it's weird.
It's weird. It's weird.
You know, I feel like there's some. Look, there's
what?
some profiles. Let's not get it twisted. There's that higher tier of profile.
Yeah.
Where it's like, these
that
people.
looks like the wife from Married with Children.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah,
but those profiles never get rejected.
Yeah. Oh,
they
the
get
high
to choose.
tier, like the
yeah,
high.
they get to choose. They get to choose. But at the normal level, men choose everything. Women get to choose who. That's why men are so bitter. There's a lot of bitterness and energy. You know, especially when they talk about online dating. I'm like, bro, you suck and you're ugly, nigga. Just get over it. It's not for you, dog. I try to keep it real with him. I'm like, yo, bro, you ugly, nigga. You ugly. You know how bad I got? I remember I had to get my little brother to take pictures of me. You know what he did in them pictures?
No.
He made me look like Chris Brown. Let me show you. I'll show you some of the pictures. They're bad. He whitened everything. My shit went through the roof all of a sudden. I was like, oh, they're like, yeah. He's like, you way too dark butt on that shit, nigga. You can't be on Tinder dark butt. Nigga.
Oh, so he made you look like Chris Brown, like complexion.
Skin, complexion-wise.
Michael Jackson, dude.
No. He did it with the filter.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't really know how to do it at that point.
Oh,
he bleached me through the phone. I look like Sammy Sosa. My shit went up.
You're like, but I'm not gonna lie, I got so much pussy right after that. It was crazy.
A lot of it is just, it's if you suck at it, it's gonna be rough because now you got to do the thing where you talk to people in person, and I don't think these young people. I think there's a certain age where they don't do that anymore, and you talking to them,
They don't do what anymore?
like talk, like cold call, meaning like
No,
walk up to
nobody-
a girl and be like, hey, what's up? Like,
To be honest, I don't think that happens at all anymore.
no, I think that's not. I think if
And
we
women,
go to
women get dolled up, and you would think it's for male attention on a Friday night, but then one guy walks up to her and she's like, "Get the fuck away!" She's like, so it's like nobody's really doing that
you
anymore.
don't think if we go to a bar filled with millennials, 30 and up, I think everybody's gonna be just talking to each other. I think if we go to a millennial night, everybody's 30 and up.
Yeah.
I think everybody's like, I don't really give a flying fuck. I'm just talking to people. People are treating people more like people. They're not like that hunger, that like.
Okay, well yes, I will agree with that because I think the number one thing that's wrong with the dating apps is that they put too much pressure on the connection.
Yeah.
It just should, when you swipe, it doesn't immediately need to be like flirt. Hey, you come here often, you're the only 10 I see. You don't fucking know that. Do you really like Taco Tuesday? You know, because
I've said all those things.
I'm sure.
She directly quoted me just now.
I'm sure. I saw it too. I'm like, where'd you get that fish on Hinge on your boat? Or, you know, it's like, but I think like if you just, I think it's the apps put too much pressure on the connection. Cause I mean, we know we're on here to find love, pussy, romantic or sexual connection in some way, shape, or form. So the second we swipe and unlock, everybody feels like it's like sprint
to the races.
To the races. And
it's hard.
like,
It sucks having a conversation that has a direction. You know,
it's immediately a conversation with a motive on both parts.
It's a lot.
And usually for him on the apps, it's how quickly can I just fucking run and done, done and run and fuck. Okay, but the motive for her immediately, it's also not fair, is immediately like scanning for husband qualifications.
That's real.
Scanning for, you know, and you're.
I need to see a boat in the pictures.
Literally. So I just think, I agree that I think that if you just threw a bunch of millennials in a room and you didn't even label it speed dating, you were just like, let's meet people, you'd have a way more chance of people fucking and actually starting to date.
For sure. People just, because it's less, you know, you'll get friend groups and people just, once you're 30 plus, I almost feel like,
that's how you meet people.
yeah, you have to kind of just go out and then, you know, have that.
Yeah.
And I love, it's hard to find, but I love looking for places where everyone's 30 plus. Because what happens is, even if somebody in that motherfucker's 25, they're gonna act 30. You know, I remember I went to a place
Or they're gonna stick out like a sore thumb.
for sure. I had a girl. I remember I go to a place, Petanque, and whatever, my open mic place. I go there on a Friday, and some girl starts twerking on the floor. Right,
That's some 21-year-old shit.
some 21-year-old shit.
Yeah.
Three girls. They were bad as fuck.
Yeah.
But I remember all of us just kind of like crowded the bar and like really stayed the fuck away from them.
Yeah.
And it's, like they stop because they realize no one's paying attention. They get up and they kind of like come to the bar, and it almost felt like they had a weight on their shoulders. They had to get past the fact that they were just twerking in a corner for attention, and now nobody wants to talk to them. And they're just sitting there like, oh, this is awkward. And then they ended up leaving. But I like that kind of environment.
Yeah, it's like showing up to a comedy show and being too drunk and loud, and then everybody else wants to watch the show, and you're like, maybe this isn't our vibe. Like,
maybe it's time to go.
It's time to go. Yeah.
Time to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, that is true.
That's why when I see a guy who's 30 in a club,
it's a red flag.
I'm like, my nigga, what is you
What
doing?
are you doing?
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
You know
It
what
is.
I mean?
Well, I also think that 30 and 40-year-olds can get along really well. 30 and 20-year-olds, that gap between your 20s and 30s is
so annoying.
monumental.
Your frontal cortex isn't developed till 25.
I don't know how 50-year-old men can. Anthony Kiedis from Red Hot Chili Peppers is dating Tinkerbell. He is dating. His girlfriend is so young, and the pictures are so scary. And I'm like, I'm not even trying to fuck people in their 20s.
She don't get it.
Even if it's a 20.
She don't get it.
Even if it's a 20, even my friends who are like, some of my friends who are, well, except for Blondel, he's like the only exception because he's like kid genius and he's in his 20s. But when he told me he was 22, I was like, that's really rude and offensive. Don't ever say that to me again.
I didn't know you was 22
I
either.
was like,
nigga.
you have your shit
God
so
damn, I was
together.
liking
He's
him.
so hardworking. He's so mature.
That's something
I was
against you.
I was like, you know what it's like being in your 30s. And he was like, ma'am, he ma'amed me. He goes, ma'am, I'm 23. And I said, get the fuck out of my studio and go to bed. I said, go to bed. I literally said, excuse you with that.
That's so
How
good.
dare you have a better credit score than me? And I have a TFL.
TFL,
And
you
then
got a
I'm
bad
trying
TFL trying to.
And then I need a massage. I was like, what's happening?
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I meet a lot of girls who do this. They say, oh, yeah, I only date older men as if it's something. I'm like, you're a fucking victim. You understand that?
Oh, yeah.
He got a career fulfilling life and an ex-wife. He's grooming you and not for success. It's over.
It's over.
You need to step back from that.
Yeah.
Because that motherfucker, like, at 30, you start to, solidify who you are. Ain't gonna be no changing. You date somebody, you're 23, you date somebody 23, you guys are gonna grow together. You might grow apart. There's more chance for an ending. But at least you guys are growing together and maturing together.
Hot take.
Yeah.
I just made out with my mic. Hot take. It's been a while. Hot take. I think that if you start dating in high school or even 20s, with the exception of obviously you can meet your soulmate, obviously you can meet your person,
True,
obviously
true.
you can break up and come back together.
Gonna happen.
But to your point about dating when you're that relatively young and you're like, you might stay together or you might more likely grow apart, I think you should grow apart.
You should. It's healthy.
It's healthy.
It's healthy.
I don't think that the person you meet for me, I'm only ever speaking
No,
about,
I
we're all
get it.
projecting.
I get it.
I don't think that I could meet somebody at 20 and even if I'm in madly in love, I don't know if I'm not. I would hope I'm not the same person at 33.
It takes you down
And
some
I would
road,
hope
man.
you're not.
Yeah.
I don't think you should stay.
Let me tell you
obviously,
something.
with the exception that two souls meet
If it
and it's
happens,
fate and it can happen.
I got an example.
Yeah.
But I also got the bad of it, right? I know
Yeah.
a guy's been with his girl since he was 15.
Yeah.
Right? I met him when he was 19.
Yeah.
We've been friends. He's like 29 now, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
It's great. His life is good. Like him and his girl love each other, and there's no ability for them to break up because they don't even know what the world's like. But with that being said, there is something about the lack of experience. Because sometimes, like me and my boy's married, right? I got my girl. We'll sometimes just sit there and talk about the good old, not the good old days. Sorry, but the days.
I'm
when,
old enough. I say the good old days.
You know what I'm saying? The days, when we just running around, and he'll jump in. And we both look at him because we like, nigga, you telling me a story about you fucking another 13-year-old because that's the last time
Yeah.
you were not with her. I don't want to
yeah.
hear about child porn. That's child porn, bro.
Yeah, it is.
You're talking about that, whatever moment you're talking about is before you were 15.
Yeah.
So it's just,
so
and
it's
you
weird.
Yeah, and he's trying. I could tell he's trying, but me and him, we just got the, we're just like, yo, let's change the subject.
Well,
dog.
it's when there's also too when there's like an age gap like that as well too.
What do you mean?
Well, because you said there's an age gap, right? With that
No, there's
guy?
no age gap. They both were 15.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they've been together now, and they're nearing 30.
I don't know how that's crazy.
So when he talks, like sometimes like he'll try to join in on these moments, these man moments with that, but those are things you can only have done when you were single.
Oh, yeah.
So
So you're
it's
like,
like
you
a-
haven't been single for 15
Yeah.
years. You locked yourself down before you were ever in the quote unquote legal ages of being single to the fullest.
That's why I'm like, I don't even want to hear about your stories, man. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't even low key. I can't even talk to you about being single
yeah.
because you can't relate to anything.
Yeah.
And not having that experience is scary because I'm like, what if you have a midlife crisis? You get a divorce. You
I
start to
think
think to yourself,
most of those people probably do.
Yeah, it scares
And
me.
I think it's less about the options thing.
I hope he doesn't see this podcast.
Yeah, it's-
You know,
Oh, well,
he,
truth
He
hurts.
would know who he is.
You're talking about
my
your other
boy.
guy, your other boy,
Yeah, my
your
other
other
boy.
boy. The other one. That's it. I also think it's less about option culture and fear of missing out and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just more, I think it's just we will change and we are supposed to change.
Yeah.
So I don't
have
even
to.
think when people have that midlife crisis and people are like, so what is it now? Like you suddenly want to fuck other people or you feel like you're missing out. It's like, I don't even think it's that as much as it's
Yeah.
like 15 years of my life has been with you.
Exactly.
I want to do something else. I don't know
I
about you.
have
I
to.
can't even meal prep. Because by day 3, I'm like, I hate chicken. I don't want quinoa. I don't want this, let alone 15 years.
15 years.
You know, and I just think if you push off that level of commitment to later in life, then you're gonna spend the early years with variety, spontaneity, failure,
Exactly.
and heartbreak. And again,
And you're gonna grow from all those moments.
and you're going to grow from all those moments. And yes, I do think to an extent when you settle later in life, like you said, when you get kids, it's because you're bored. I do think you get tired, but it's okay that you get tired because you've done the variety.
Exactly.
And now you've done the variety enough to know I like frozen yogurt. I want this berries, that topping, exactly
allergic to
this.
Ben and Jerry's for some reason.
I'm allergic to Ben and Jerry's. I want honey granola. I want it in this kind of cup
Exactly.
because you've had every flavor under the sun, and you are. But you know, who knows? I'm gonna die alone. So, anyways, at least I'm funny.
I think you'll be all right. You just need a. Sometimes I think you just are on the wrong coast. I think if you're on the West Coast, I think you'd find love.
Don't
fast.
say that. That's disgusting.
You don't
I don't
think
want to
so?
move to the West Coast.
Not move to the West Coast, but meet
but
somebody.
I am going to
think if
be in
somebody
LA
moved
in 3
here-
weeks. So if you're available,
Hey.
no, West Coast of Florida, no,
No.
I'm kidding.
Oh God. Oh God. No.
Your soulmate's in Sarasota.
That's. I would say that if you had like a thyroid problem or something. No. You got to
Well, I
get a
did gain
soulmate.
20 pounds in the last year, so we maybe should get that shit checked. Okay. Drew, where can everybody find you, follow you?
Okay, we at that point.
We did. We've been talking for an hour.
Oh my God, this was good.
Look at Drew.
I know, right? Look at your little ass legs. Don't even touch them. Like I've been looking
Look
the
at
whole
your
time.
little
I'm like,
ass.
you know,
Look at your
feet
little
big.
ass socks.
I know, right? These are.
Your socks are like.
Let me tell you something.
Your
You
socks
need-
are like a girl who got thick and is still trying to fit in her 20-year-old tube top.
She look like I look like Star Jones in '95 and two socks. Two socks. That's old. Star Jones. That's hardcore. That's a niche joke. Let me tell you something. Man, if I showed you the bottom of my feet, I gotta fucking do something about that. What you do about this dry skin right here? You see that shit? You see how that dry skin?
Did you put any lotion?
Huh? I put a little shea butter, but the bottom look worse. The bottom look like I sleep hanging upside down. It's terrible. It's mad, nigga. It's just mad dead skin spots and shit.
You got to get a pedicure.
I gotta get a pedicure.
Yeah, you got to get somebody to just.
I ain't letting nobody touch my feet. Now, slow down. Touch my feet.
That's gay.
They're my private spaces. The bottom of my soul.
Let Abby do it.
I don't even want her to touch my feet. I don't want another person. I need to do it myself.
I'm actually okay with men getting pedicures, and I mostly don't. I like men to be men.
I don't
I
mind
like a
it.
man to be a man, but when I see dudes getting pedicures,
It's
I'm like,
not
that's
about
all right.
being. Listen, it's not about being a man. You just not touching my motherfucking feet. That's my space.
Well, then don't give yourself a pedicure. Buy a little bin, put some.
But I don't want the whole
exfoliating-
thing. I just want to. I just want to get rid of the skin. Is there like a tool I can use, like a cheese grater? You can't use a cheese grater, obviously, right?
I mean, you can, but do you have health insurance?
Do I, no.
You might.
Of course.
You know why? You might. Yeah, like, you
I'm
might
like,
need
what?
a cheese.
Do I have
grater.
health problems?
Why don't you put A&D lotion, a little A&D and shea butter?
lotion? Okay.
I think you got to soak. Take a bath. Even just take a bath.
Take a bath.
Yeah,
I
they
ain't
gotta
done them in
hydrate.
years, man.
But I'm not gonna lie. I would expect men's feet to look like that.
Yeah, it's tough. I hate
I
it
will be
sometimes.
way more turned off if a guy took his socks off and his feet were like super manic.
Oh, yeah, that's
I
crazy.
like a man. I want chiseled. I want dry spots on the ankles. I want a man. I want a little BO. I want
I'm
hair.
gonna say something. The image of a man taking off his socks and the motherfucker's glistening. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy to me. I can't imagine that. Like, you're like,
I'm
yo,
like,
what's going on? A Cher song start playing. As soon
I
as he-
swear to God. I'm always like, I'm gonna have to be on top, aren't I? Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, this is not okay. Drew, where can everybody find you? Who can give you a pedicure? Drew Illa.
Drew, okay, DREW_Illa, ILLA. All right, I'm on Instagram. I'm always putting up content. No shirtless pictures because the Spanx don't look good don't look good if it's off.
Drew's like, I haven't taken the Spanx off since
I know, right?
It's in 1999.
I don't know, man. Shit, I went to the beach in Spanx, nigga.
You wouldn't be the first person in Miami to do that.
I told him it was a scuba suit.
I'll say that.
That's where you can find me. Also, on what's the one with the that your children like?
My children?
No, the social media TikTok.
TikTok.
I'm over there too.
TikTok. Enjoy us while you can before it gets banned.
Oh, is it really gonna get banned?
I
though?
mean, I don't know. I hope it gets banned. I fucking hate that app.
It's very
I
hard.
see the dumbest shit on that app.
so
I'm over
hard.
here toiling away at comedy and funny videos, and then some girl's like, blink, 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 blink. And she's like, I fucked him with his socks on. And that gets like 2 million likes.
Yeah, boy.
And I'm like, okay, art is dead. Art is dead and gone, and that's it.
It's hard because people don't want manicured anymore. They
No,
want be real.
authentic.
They
Yeah.
want be real.
I honestly think if it's overproduced at this point, it turns people off.
Oh yeah.
It's like those videos of just flip it over and rant and go. But you know what's interesting? Because it's like there's a lot of people that wouldn't like boomers and Gen X that resisted the internet or even resist comedy or resist certain types of music.
True.
But all of a sudden they're like, I
always
like
live in
that
Utah.
TikTok stuff.
Yeah, they love it.
They love it.
Because you know what? They can express their community through it. You know,
Yeah.
whatever they're into, they can find it on TikTok.
Yeah, it's almost more. There's more options on TikTok than there is on Pornhub.
It's because the search engine is so much better.
They say that actually, just saying, we'll leave with this. I just saw that TikTok is actually trying to actively compete with Google.
Oh, for real?
It's trying to be the new Google. So where you could put
man.
anything in, and you can't put anything in TikTok. I put obscure shit. I was trying to show something to my mom the other day, and I was like, literally put woman somewhere middle America stabbed 2 kids 911 call. And I found it.
Oh, for real?
I actually found a few.
true
I
crime
found a
episode?
few, to be honest. Yeah, I found a few. I was like, now I got to look through which one. But this
Yeah,
call
you a
was.
woman living in the Midwest, nigga. Ooh.
She called 911 and she goes, I killed my kids.
Jesus
And the lady
Christ.
on 911 goes, excuse me? Like, I felt that excuse
That's
me.
what happens when the only thing to do in your town is bowl, motherfucker.
That's it.
They're so in your face. The
Yeah,
kids.
and you gotta only give those people butter knives. You can't give them steak knives.
Listen, my mother she outgrown being a stay-at-home mom. All her kids live in different zip codes. We can all be tried as adults.
Yeah.
She will not quit. She will stay in that job forever.
Yeah.
And man, sometimes I'm like, like it's a little small. The life, the walls.
Yeah.
It's like everything is here, you know?
Yeah, you start to lose perspective.
Yeah,
You get a little
man.
restless, but yeah, it was funny. She's like, I stabbed both my kids. And the lady goes, okay. She goes, yeah, one of them's definitely, she's like so calm. She goes, one of them's definitely dead. She goes, the other one's not. Can you send somebody? And then they're trying to give directions. And she's like, it's the abandoned house on County Road 77. And the woman's like, what? And then she just goes, she has the nerve to tell the 911 dispatcher. She goes, the other one's still alive. Hurry. Hurry. And the woman was like, hurry? Like, for what? It was crazy. Okay, so on that note, Drew Illa,
Jesus.
big yikes, Brittany Brave, don't stab your
Big
kids.
yikes. Don't stab your kids.
But,
Put it on.
but check on your TCF.
TFL.
Oh, whatever.
TFL.
TRL. Your TRL.